Good morning, brothers and sisters. Grace and peace be with you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. I want to begin this morning with a short story. There is a woman in my family, wonderful person who really cares a lot about folks, but she has this one particular quirk. When anyone trips or stubs a toe or drops something, her immediate instinctive reaction is to say to them, "Be careful," which I suppose is really good advice, although it's probably not as helpful after the fact as it would have been before the fact, right? Being told to be careful before you stubbed your toe would have saved you the stubbed toe, and yet at the same time, she really didn't have any way of knowing that you were going to stub your toe. But hearing it after the fact is sometimes not only not helpful, but a little irksome. It's kind of like rubbing salt in the wound that exists already. You're sitting there with a stubbed toe, and now someone's giving you advice that would have been helpful before, but is not helpful after. I tell you that story because I think we sometimes take that same approach to caring for one another when we're going through a time of pain. Whether it's the death of a family member or a medical diagnosis or a job loss, we all have encountered people in our lives who are in a time of some type of pain, whether it's physical or emotional or spiritual. And I find that sometimes our well-intentioned, I completely understand, well-intentioned but misguided approach to helping them is to remind them that, well, you really shouldn't have done the things you did. That's why you're in the situation you're in. I would have done something different. You should have done this different. You could have done this instead. If you would just have done this, you wouldn't be hurt. You wouldn't be where you are right now. Brothers and sisters, that is the pastoral equivalent to be careful. Well-intentioned, but not very helpful. Our job is not to judge other people. It's not to tell them that they brought their troubles all on themselves. It's not to point out the error of their ways. Our job as Christians is to love one another. Period. It's no harder than that. When Jesus was asked, which of the commandments was the greatest, he summed it all up. He said, love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. And basically, the two are extensions of one another. It's all about love. So we can't love the people we're caring for when we're doing shoulda, coulda, woulda with them. No, our job is to help them through their tough times, to simply be with them, to grieve with them, to hold their hands, sometimes not even to say anything. Sometimes, just like in the book of Job, our job is nothing but to sit with them in the ashes and be present. In fact, that's what we call it, the ministry of presence. Just being present with them. And sometimes grieving with them. We know that in the story of Lazarus, when Lazarus had died, Jesus comes to the tomb and Jesus weeps. Jesus wept. What an amazing phrase that is. He wept because of the grief that was in his heart and the love that he felt for him. Now, mind you, my friends, Jesus knew that he was just about to raise Lazarus from the dead, and still he wept. He wept for Lazarus. He wept for Martha and Mary in their grief. And so grief is a powerful thing, my friends, but presence can be just as powerful. And remember the words of Psalm 30. Weeping may spend the night, but joy comes in the morning. Our time of grief does have a beginning and a middle, and while it may never end, it certainly lessens because we know that joy does indeed come in the morning. So as you care for your neighbors, for your friends, for your loved ones, let's put aside the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Let's put aside the be careful and remember to love them. It's no harder than that. Love is what it's all about. God bless you. God love you. Be well.